Yes. So good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, sir. So I'm here to give a short introduction about Dr. Thamariselvan. So he has a vast academic contribution and administrative acumen over 2 decades. He is a meticulous person possessing over 25 years of academic and industrial experience. He is a passionate academician with incessant drive to contribute the best to educational community by discovering innovative pedagogical techniques in the teaching learning process. His area of specializations are service marketing, marketing metrics, and strategy marketing. And his active commitment to research made him to publish more than 50 articles in referred journals. He is an erudite researcher with publications in peer-reviewed national and international journals. He has fetched 14 awards from MMA, Bloomerang UTV, ABP, and Star News for the department during his tenure as a head of the department. He has earned many credentials by conducting a number of workshops and faculty development programs. He also served as a resource person in training programs conducted by Trek Step and BHEL SSIA to his credit. He is an enterprising administrator with leadership skills who use the right blend of responsibility and authority to achieve managerial excellence. He is an enterprising administrator with leadership skills who use the right blend of responsibility and authority to achieve managerial excellence. Welcome, sir. So I would request you to continue with the session, sir.
Thank you, Subhishri. Good afternoon to everybody, and thank you for this nice introduction. Hope people are enjoying the couple of sessions in the today morning. Okay, so about Dr. N Industry Institute interaction and skills competencies from Megla ma'am. Hope my voice is audible. If there are any disturbances, please let me know so that we can have a two-way interaction. Now I'm going to present a very essential topic for all of us because you know pretty well that we are at one point of time we are going to become leaders. Okay, so either say for an example, maybe we have got part of our committee heading the department, or can become an associate dean or a dean, or probably registrar or the director, whatever it is. And at the end of the day, we are trying to build an institution for the societal cause. So today topic revolves around two different kind of a topic. One is on institution building, another one is on achievement motivation. I'm going to focus both a topic how we can use achievement motivation theory or the practices, and that can be helpful for building the institution. Okay, so for teachers, basically for academic institution. So this is what the whole structure of my presentation. So first you will discuss more in terms of institution building. Then we are also trying to find out how to build an institution because each and every step, and we need to find out whether are we growing or not. So we need to evaluate our organizational performance, and for that also we have got different kind of tools. Largely, this McKinsey surveillance framework is used for the companies in order to understand how we are growing and what exactly we are expected to do. And we can always use this kind of a framework in order to understand whether are we growing as an institution or not. As well as we are also trying to find out are we growing with a sense of satisfaction through achievement motivation, because there should be some kind of a drive. That drive has to push each and every person to do a lot of activities and to lead a lot of people in the group and build a team, as well as come with a couple of creative strategies in order to achieve your overall superordinate goals, or what we call them as the vision and mission of the organization. But whole section, what I thought is that instead of having a more of a one-way lecture, and we can have a small case study. Actually, this case study is a very interesting case study. It's about Aravind Eye Hospital from southern part of the Tamil Nadu, from Madurai, a temple city, we call it as a temple city. And this Aravind Eye Hospital, and this case study was largely and widely used in a different kind of institutions, okay, for the different kind of a purpose. And this was already written twice in Harvard Business Case Study. And most important thing is that if you just open YouTube or even you just type Arvind Eye Hospital or even you can visit Arvind Eye Hospital website, you'll be able to find out how these people are literally sharing their knowledge in order to build the institution, how they have become a successful social entrepreneur, how they are marketing for the social cause, as well as how exactly the kind of leadership style that they are following in order to be more successful in a very, very competitive medical field. But we can draw a lot of parallel information from this particular case study. And in order to understand, even you must come across there is something called Google To Do, and there is a space where it will be available, and where you are going to type all these kind of keywords, and just above that they will be celebrating, and whenever any thing events or whatever they wanted to give, they will put right. And Arvind Eye Hospital also came up in this, and actually this is not Arvind Eye Hospital, it's the founder of the Arvind Eye Hospital, Dr. Govindappa Venkatasavi. Okay, so why I'm giving all these kind of information is that, and this is one of the key important case study in order to understand and unearth a lot of insights which are more useful for how to become a leader and how to have a better kind of a marketing strategies for the societal cause, and how to become a social entrepreneur, and even for the medical education it is widely used. But we draw a parallel information from this particular case study. Okay, so and this is relatively a lengthy audio video, runs somewhere around 30 plus minutes, but I'm expecting all the participants to be very patient and go through each and every information, because the remaining 16 or 17 slides, a bundle of information on the different kind of concepts on institution building or achievement motivation, or even from the aspect of the McKinsey 7 framework or the leadership. Everything I draw examples only from this. Unless you understand this 34 minutes video, okay, very inspiring, and you try to go through each and every slide and each and every moment, what exactly they are trying to say. It's a very inspiring case study. And if you go through that, you'll be having a better information. And immediately after this, and we can have a small discussion, then I'll just take you through the tour of how these people have built this particular institution, and how is it relevant for us, how is it relevant for our educational kind of sector, and in order to achieve this institution building, how this McKinsey 7S framework as well as achievement motivations are important. Hope I have conveyed what exactly I am going to practice, or probably the information I'm going to share for this session. Okay, so and ensure that for the next 30 minutes, and try to focus on your this particular case. And if you have got any difficulties, please let me please just inform me regarding this, so that because in between if you don't have any audio or anything, you just let me know.
Madurai, one of the oldest cities in South India. At the heart of the city is a temple, built more than 2,500 years ago, dedicated to the goddess Meenakshi, fish-eyed consort of Lord Shiva. Legend has it that Lord Shiva himself performed 64 miracles here. In Madurai is a place called Aravind. Dr. Govindappa Venkataswamy was 58 when he founded Aravind. When it first started, the hospital had 11 beds. Its mission was the eradication of needless blindness. Today, it is the largest and most productive eye care facility in the world.
I am Dr. N Thamariselvan. You see, I have been in the field of eye care for the last 50 years now. Really days of date.
அந்த ஓம்புள்ள மகதான் என்னத்தினால அங்கிட்டு ஏதாவது ரெண்டு கஞ்சியா காய்ச்சிக்கிட்டு அதை ஊற்றிக்கிட்டு இருக்கு என்னத்தை தான் பார்க்கணும் பாவம்.
Yaramanayaka worked the fields before losing his sight 10 years ago. He now lives with his daughter in a house he never finished building.
கண்ணு ஆஸ்பத்திரியில போய் கண்ணு கழிக்க குடிச்சிச்சோன்னா என் பாட்டில் மம்பட்டையும் அருவாள் எடுத்து சம்பாதிச்சிருவேன்ல.
சம்பாதிச்சு பண்ண வச்சு என்ன செய்வீங்க?
இந்த குடும்பத்துக்கு இந்த ஓம்பிள்ள இருக்கு, பேட்டி இருக்காக, போய் சம்பாதிச்சுட்டு வந்தா தானே அவங்க கஞ்சி குடிப்பாங்க.
Sundari moved in with her daughter after blindness set in. She tries to live on water weeks at a time, so as not to be a burden to her family.
ஆப்ரேஷன் வீட்டுக்கு வந்து படுத்தா நம்மளுக்கு கஞ்சாறு ஊற்றுறது, நம்மளை வெளி கூட்டு கொண்டு விடுறதாரு, நம்மளுக்கு சாப்பாடு ஒரு காப்பி வேண்டாலும் நம்ம கையில் 10 காசு வேணும் அப்படி பயந்து தான் நீங்கள் 5 வருஷத்துக்கு முதல்ல வந்து கூப்பிட்டு மாட்டினது.
You know, in a way, blindness is a fatal disease in India. The life expectancy after blindness is 2.5 or 3 years. If you can't feed yourself and your family, then there's a bad expression in India, which is a blind person is someone who is mouth but no hands.
வேலைக்கு போகிற பக்கமெல்லாம் வேணாம்ன்றாங்க. கண் தெரியாதவளை கூட்டி வந்து என்ன செய்யறது, ஊசி இந்த நம்ம சீலை வைக்கிற ஊசி ஓர்த்தம்ட்டா கண் தெரியாது, தலையில் இருக்கிற பேன் தெரியாது, கீழே கஞ்சி கீழே ஒரு எறும்பு கிடந்தாலும் ஈ கிடந்தாலும் அது தெரியாது.
Cataract. The clouding of the eye's lens is the leading cause of blindness in the developing world. While a simple operation can restore sight, access to treatment can be difficult. Perhaps no one understood this better than a man known to many as Dr. V.
Dr. V was dedicated to the proposition that he had to reach out into the villages. And if there's anyone in the world who really understood the core necessities of social marketing, I think before the term was invented, he was the person.
See, McDonald's concept is they feel they can train people all over the world, irrespective of different religions, different culture, different all those things, to produce a product in the same way and deliver it in the same manner in hundreds of places.
He kept talking about McDonald's and hamburgers, and none of it made any sense to us. He wanted to create a franchise, a mechanism of delivery of eye care with the efficiency of McDonald's.
Supposing I'm able to produce eye care techniques, methods and all those things the same way and make it available in every corner of the world, the problem of blindness is gone.
There are now 5 Aravind Eye hospitals in South India. They are all self-sustaining, and together they see over 1.4 million patients and perform over 200,000 sight-restoring surgeries each year. 2/3 of its services are free. All the Aravind Eye hospitals have free and paying sections. Patients decide where they want to be treated. While choice of accommodation varies between the 2 sections, the quality of treatment does not. At Aravind, every patient who can pay covers costs for 2 who cannot. Because of their high numbers, the revenue from paying patients not only covers costs for Aravind's free services, but also generates a surplus that funds all growth and expansion.
And I don't insist upon that man must pay me before I do anything for him. I said, give the sight man, let him give whatever he can give. If he cannot afford, doesn't matter, he can give later. So priority is for human welfare.
All the hospitals send medical teams into the villages. Patients requiring surgery are brought back to the base hospital, where they receive food, lodging, treatment, and return transport, completely free of charge. Close to 50% of all the patients Aravind treats are sought out and brought back to the hospital through these screening eye camps.
So the typical problems that a patient has is, how do I get to the hospital? Someone has to come with me. It's going to cost me a lot of money. Other person doesn't want to come because he can't take the time off. So all of these barriers are taken care of. Over the years, we built up a huge network of community organizations that support us. And now each year, we organize 1,500 screening eye camps, which translates to roughly 30 to 40 screening camps every week.
Dr. V's involvement with the community began long before the start of Aravind.
See, when I started the eye camps in 1961, the government wanted us to reach the villages. The leaders in the community also saw this one and they were thrilled. And they said, we will come and help you also. So it became a sort of people's movement. In our early days, Gandhiji was all in all for us. His simple life, his truthfulness, and he said spiritual life, progress can be made in the life, not going to a monastery or going to an ashram.
During his years of government service, Dr. V met Sir John Wilson, a blind man of great vision, and founder of the Royal Commonwealth Society for the Blind.
In my life, I think he did a lot of work to mentor me. Lots of times I felt I was not coming up to his expectations. Being brought up in a colonial country, you are all the time looked down upon. He used to pull me up, constantly. Come and we will go and see the Prime Minister, or we will go and see this WHO meeting, something like that. He used to call me. He will take me, he will say, I will show you around. Blind man shows the sighted man around.
With his help, a center was set up that drastically reduced childhood blindness due to nutritional deficiencies. The two men also launched a nationwide eye camp program that took hundreds of mobile medical units right to the doorstep of the blind.
In our system, we operate each day between 600 to 1,000 patients. And we need to do that for us to remain efficient. And the whole systems are geared around doing that. And this doesn't happen accidentally.
Dr. V said administration is essential. And two of the qualities that he brought to the Arvind model were the necessity of good administration and a conviction that systems could substitute for a richness in available human resources.
The paramedical team at Aravind forms the backbone of the system. These young women are recruited from villages around Madurai and are trained in refraction testing, ward and theatre duty, counselling and housekeeping.
They had so much of respect to the patient, and they were willing to do any type of work for the patient. And they were also willing to share with us in the dream of the hospital. That is how our program started. So from 1976 onwards till today, every year we take about 100 girls from the village.
4 highly trained paramedics assist each doctor, thus optimizing the surgeon's time and skill. In this way, a doctor at Aravind averages over 2,000 surgeries a year, against a national average of 220.
Doctors are not paid extra because they are doing more operation. But the other way it helps also. Ours is a teaching institution. The more patients are there, the better the training can be.
Well, my name is Michael Ober, and I was in Aravind January of 2003, and I was there as a resident. The physicians there were incredible. They were fantastic surgeons, they gave incredible patient care, and their priorities could serve as a model to every physician in the United States. I'd say one of the more interesting parts was how medications and things that we take for granted, pieces of equipment, are not available. The ingenuity and the fact that they're manufactured at Aravind was very impressive.
This is the intraocular lens production facility which we started in 1992 with support from Seva Foundation in US. This is the intraocular lens which we produce here, and this lens serves as a substitute lens once we remove the natural cataract lens from the eye.
In the early 90s, there were no eyewear manufacturers in India. We had to import lenses from the West. At that time, each lens was costing around $200. They were not affordable in most developing countries. So we devised our own methods of making lenses up to international standards, and we were able to sell them at about $5 a piece. Today, we manufacture a wide range of ophthalmic products as well, and we are exporting them to over 85 countries around the world.
Here to Nirvana. Have you read the book? It's a like Lonely Planet. It's a tour guide, but all for spiritual destinations. Different ashrams and Aravind Hospital is on it.
Dr. Venkataswamy's pioneering work and his compassionate spirit have been recognized by a number of honors. Among them are the Padma Shri Award from the Government of India, the Helen Keller International Award, which has been presented to him at the United Nations, and the Time Life Service Award from the International Agency for the Prevention of Blindness. We await with eagerness this first lecture on the theme of rationalism and spiritualism. Please welcome Dr. Govindappa Venkataswamy.
Now, it's a very, very funny experiment.
I used to sit with the ordinary village man because I am from a village. What you call a rustic, unsophisticated man, a Roman. In the early days, we had no paper, pencil, slate, nothing like that. So the only way children could be taught learning was to collect sand and spread it on the floor. The fingers we used to write. One of the things the village children have to do is every house got a buffalo and a pair of bullocks for farming and all those things. The boy was asked to take the buffalo for grazing out. So I used to do it early morning, 5:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Mother used to wake me up and get up, go and take the buffalo for grazing. I used to sit with the ordinary village man because I am from a village. And suddenly he turned around and then you seem to contact his inner being. You seem to be one with him. But here is a soul which has got all the simplicity of confidence. Doctor, whatever you say, I accept it. An implicit faith in you. And then you respond it. Here is an old lady who has got so much of faith in me. I must do my best for her. Now how am I going to train myself to do perfection?
Aurobindo talked about the perfectibility of the human soul. And Dr. V embodies it. He embodies the perfectibility of humanity, both in his work on the perfection of himself and his work on ridding the world of one form of suffering.
Sri Aurobindo and the mother were two key spiritual figures of the 20th century. Dr. V was introduced to their teachings in Pondicherry.
They say there's a lot of energy and in the higher levels of consciousness. So that consciousness sees the truth as such. Mind doesn't see the truth. And it can organize things in a better way than what the mind can do. What he calls divine life on earth. Nobody had become a doctor in my village or in my community also at that time. Doctor is something very, very high up. I remember vividly when I must have been hardly 4 or 5 years old. Next door, 2 hours away, I heard a shouting and yelling in the early morning. And I was told that the pregnant woman during delivery died. That lady must have been hardly about 20 years old at that time. And that upsets a young woman, hardly 20 years old, suddenly dying away and you don't see her anymore. And he said, can you not do something to prevent it?
Dr. V entered medical school with plans to become an obstetrician. In 1944, he joined the army as a medical officer. Four years later, he was discharged after contracting a rare form of rheumatoid arthritis, a condition that left his fingers permanently crippled, barring him from a career in obstetrics.
That is how I got into the eye hospital, sheer accident. And even after joining the eye hospital, walking a few steps was difficult, painful. Holding a pen was difficult, and holding surgery was little difficult. It took some years for me to pick up surgery.
Dr. V went on to personally perform more than 100,000 successful eye surgeries.
After I became an eye doctor, I started appreciating how good his surgery was. In fact, he was our teacher in surgery. And all the instruments, he knew how to handle them very elegantly. There was no special instruments for him. The instruments that we normally use, he used to handle them, but in a different angle. And his surgery used to be so perfect.
My father died when I was 16. Because he died, Dr. Venkateswaran was the eldest man of the family, so he took the responsibility of developing all of us. So he educated us. Because of that, he didn't want to get married so that he can spend more time with the family.
I still remember once I went to a movie with my mother and aunt, and after coming from the movie I had to write about 10 hours what moral values I learned from that movie. And then subsequently I was not very happy to go for any movies. And he says, if you were there, what will you do to change the movie in order to reach the common people? I was hardly 15. At that age I was not so happy to answer.
In 1976, Dr. V retired from government service at the mandatory retirement age of 58. He then started a non-profit trust with his brothers and sisters, and in the same year, an eye clinic was opened in Madurai. It had 11 beds and was called Aravind, after Sri Aurobindo.
When Dr. V started, sometimes I have sort of joked that he started with the finest group of ophthalmologists in India.
What Dr. V used to say is, get less, do more number. That was our slogan. And nobody will know what it was exactly that time. I mean, even now, you also maybe it will be difficult for you to understand what was the situation that time.
Sometimes I had to pledge the gold jewelry from the family and get money, because I had to pay to the laborers every Saturday. So like that in the beginning we had a lot of problems because of finance.
So I agreed to mortgage my house, and then we borrowed about 200,000 rupees or something like that. Then we are gradually building that new building which you see now. When we finished the ground floor, we occupied the ground floor. And we could keep the patients there, operate there. Then we built the first floor. So as we earned more and more money, we added more floors.
Dr. V's younger brother, Srinivasan, with whom he lives, he has found the land, he has built the buildings, he has controlled the costs, and I'll bet you I have heard Dr. V say a half dozen times, without Srinivasan I could not have done this.
Actually always the Venkateswaran has got a character. Once we complete one job, he will never say anything, we have done a good job. Then after 2 months, you will say, you will always have a way of saying, as you say, why not to start a hospital in some place? He will never say that we will start a hospital. As you say, or as we all discussed, we should start a hospital in that place.
Throughout the time that I have spent with Dr. V, his vision of what was possible was way beyond what was anything reasonable.
I first met Dr. Venkateswami in 1978 when he came to Michigan, and I was working at that time at the University of Michigan Medical School. When Dr. Venkateswami came to meet me out of his interest in continuing education, he remarked that he would someday like to have a center like this one. And in the back of my mind, I was thinking, now wait a minute. He has an 11-bed eye clinic in India. He's coming to the States and walking around this 40,000 square foot facility saying he wants one just like this. How is he ever going to do it? And in a matter of years, in around 18 years, he had done it and established the Lyons Arvind Institute for Community Ophthalmology.
This institute helps transfer the Aravind model to other eye care programs in India and the rest of the developing world.
It set itself originally a goal of working with 100 hospitals through the international NGO partners, and then try to help each one of them to do maybe 5,000 or more surgeries per year with good quality and a sustainable manner.
Now this is a good model from Malawi. Malawi, we have been working with them. Before going there, they were able to do about 440 surgeries in a year, 449 in the whole of 98. As a result of the interaction like that one, now they are able to do that number in 1 month.
Today we are working with 150 hospitals, and many are doing far beyond the 5,000 that we set, and they're touching 10,000, 12,000. Some are becoming role models very much like what Aravind is in this part of the country, and we're using them to propagate this message even further.
And I think that's something else Dr. V has taught me, that the way you make things work the best is you don't hold on to it and say this is all mine and I'm in control of it, but you give it away, which is what he does.
You train everybody, every day you coach him, guide him, play with him and all those things. So you can develop him quickly as a top player. So he has developed a physical stamina, mental capacity and a vision. So this our doctors feel. They carry this all their life also.
As we all know, ophthalmologists are a premium in this country. We are only 10,000 to 11,000 ophthalmologists for a billion population. So we have to be much more productive to meet the demands of the people. So, and Aravind has pioneered a system that helps us to do high volume work. And I think it's a work in progress. We have reached probably 40-50% of what one could do.
Today, more than 30 members across 3 generations of Dr. V's family work at Aravind. More than 25 years later, all the original team members still work here. Dr. Nam and Dr. Nachyar have taken on the responsibility of heading the organization, while Dr. V now serves as chairman.
When the leadership changes, the approach may change, but the founder's vision and mission of reducing the needless blind, depending on the circumstances and change which has taken globally and regionally, so we have to change. We are keeping the same thing.
Book 5, Canto 2. There is a power within that knows beyond our knowings. We are greater than our thoughts. And sometimes, Earth unveils that vision here. To live, to love, are signs of infinite things.
When we grow in spiritual consciousness, we identify ourselves with all that is in the world. So there is no exploitation. It is ourselves we are helping. It is ourselves we are dealing. Now, Asia's beauty is something the soul wants it. Whenever you see that a man is in contact with his soul, then he enjoys a beautiful sky, a beautiful tree, a beautiful bird. But suddenly you hear a piece of music, oh, and then you lose yourself. It's like that. Everything seems to open up in a different way.
Okay, I hope you'd have watched the whole pretty lengthy this case study. Okay, so I just wanted to have a few thoughts on this from you. Then only I can take it forward because I just wanted to know how far and what perspective you have understood this.
That I feel this is Dr. Katie. More of a social and community service for the people who cannot afford it and create a brand for the society.
Okay, fine. Okay, so you need to think. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, anybody else?
It's about serving the humanity with the skills you acquired, but people don't have access to.
Fine. Okay. Then that's it. Anything from leadership angle, anything from how to build a great institution, because you could understand this particular person and the ophthalmologist affected by rheumatoid arthritis. And after completing his government service at the age of 50, he started a very minimum 11 bed hospital and rose up to something like a 4 story with five different kind of hospitals and trying to do almost every day somewhere closer to 1,000 operations. Okay, so how these people are able to build this institute? I am expecting you to think from that particular angle rather than looking at more from the societal angle. Societal cause is there, and because he was trying to attack on the grand challenges more from trying to eradicate the needless blind. That was his the whole mission, and that's why he started. And he was having a very good. He's basically a visionary. He has got very good vision to eradicate this needless blind. But all the more, I am expecting you people to understand from the perspective of how this particular person was able to build an institution like this. Okay, what exactly the characteristics, what were the techniques, what were the methodologies, what were the strategies that he has adopted, and what could be the best way and how we can take this example in order to apply for our own kind of an institutes. So I'm looking from only that angle because not much difference from medical institution to our own kind of an institution. We are also serving for the society, and he is also serving for the society. Only thing is that he is in a medical, where we are in a more in terms of our noble profession, providing, sharing a knowledge through education institution. So I'm looking from that particular angle because at any point of time you could understand that you are going to become a leader and how to build a institution, how to build our own kind of a department, how to build our own kind of a team. That is most important because over the period of time you are going to become a leader in different levels, starting with a very simple within the department where you are having a simple committee or probably in one point of time you are going to become a director of the institution. If that is the case, you should have a lot of takeaways from this. I'm expecting you to think from that particular angle.
So somewhere transformation leadership.
Not getting into something like technical terminology. What you observed from your naked eye, that's more than enough. Say, for an example, one simple thing is that, everybody sharing the superordinate goals, like we call them as eradicating the needless blind. Whether even the person, because at one point of time, as he was mentioning that every year they are recruiting 100 people from the local villages, and all the people are having a very common goal that their work is more in terms of eradicating the needless blind, and everybody is working towards that. And if that particular focus is there, whatever the activities, the methodologies, and everything that they are looking is most important for them. So everybody is focusing on one particular goal and started working on that. So everybody is having a common consensus. That is one particular point that I wanted to say. But beyond that, I'm expecting. I know pretty well that this is an afternoon, it's a pretty lengthy case, but it's a very excellent case study where you need to learn a lot of things. I'll open up one by one in the later point of my slides, but before that, I just wanted to have a better clarity from your mind, and that's why I'm looking out for. So far, only two people have spoken, and somewhere around the 70, 80 people are in our forum. I'm expecting at least a couple of more observations.
So another part, I think he has collected the resources from which may be not affordable for the initial stage for the hospital. He has taken a help and generated funds through that US Seva group, and able to take a good art of infrastructure which will helpful to the people whom he is serving or to whom he is giving the service.
No,
So that
actually,
one way.
this is other way around. I'll just let me tell you my observation. Correct me if I'm wrong. Actually, Seva was not involved in terms of building any kind of what is that construction of the building, anything. What they have done is that they just had a participation in producing the intraocular lens, because during 90s these people were importing it from other countries, which cost around $200, where these people wanted to go for ingenuity and locally made, and which is having a same kind of a quality or sometimes even surpasses the standard of quality. And they also started exporting the same kind of a IOL, which is not even $5. Okay, and that is where Seva has joined hands with, because even if you see that background and Let There Be Light, that was the logo of a Seva Foundation, and both the people are having a common consensus. But one thing is that not from the financial angle, but this is more of a family-owned business, and you could see that this was started by Dr. V and his family, and almost all the people they pledged their goals and whatever the property they have, not to start there, and they have not got any kind of a financial resources from others, but they have got a very good marketing strategy. Or what they have done is they felt where exactly the market need is available. Okay, so they identified that there is a huge number of people and they are having a cataract, and cataract is the larger problem. You could see 45 million people are having this kind of a problem, and they were focusing on one particular area where people were not able to pay. And other thing is that people are able to pay. Only thing is that these particular institution has got a quality medical provision, and they are providing both the quality for both the kind of a segment at equal level. There is not even a single differentiation in the reliability part of it, which means that whoever is comes in contact with RA in the hospital, yeah, and for having some kind of a treatment, and they'll go out of the institute with a better kind of a sight. Whether you are paying or not paying, that is a different angle. But one thing is that how we are making the revenues. So they get it from the people who can afford, and every one patient, and it was already stated even in this particular video, for every one patient, and they can treat to the patients who cannot afford to provide money. They got even beyond the surplus, which means that 1:2 ratio, and even beyond that, they were able to provide. And it is not the patients who are not able to provide are coming to the institutes. Actually, this Aravind hospitals running a camps, and you can see that almost every day 2 to 3 camps. Okay, and they are conducting somewhere around 1,500 camps in a year. They just walk into in different villages and with the use of community supporters and trying to identify who are the people are having some kind of a blindness and scrutinize, and they provide all the facilities in order to bring back to the hospital and provide a medication, and they are just after that they are transporting back to the native places with not even a single cost. But the other part is that they are also having a, because of the core competency of providing a right kind of a medical, and people were literally wanted to come to this hospital, and they are also willing to pay more money. Okay, that is where the financial resource, that we call this a strategy. Okay, so
I was
basically
more thinking of that at the two highlighted point. What I observed was he was more inclined to use the local or indigenous resources. One, what we have seen the up-hand workers or the paramedical staff which he is hiring from nearby villages. So he is one way generating the employment for the nearby people who are maybe not able to go outside. So one way I have seen a better leadership, and other one is that the lab which he has set up. Maybe you have explained just now that it is not financially supported by Seva, but now they are exporting to more than 85 countries. So that is also one way that they started generating their own financial resources and later on become self-independent to export that and create his own brand in the international market also. So that is also one.
exactly. They have created a brand in the minds of the target audience, in the minds of the shareholders, in the minds of the whole network. Okay, so right from the beginning till the end, and whoever is participating, and they have got a very good common sharing of a common vision. And whether it is international players like Seva or any other kind of a people, or even in terms of participating international agencies, WHO, whatever it is, our own communities and community leaders in the different villages, and local people who doesn't have any kind of an employment, identify the people who have got a capability, train them, but they have got a very good system. Okay, so that system is exactly bringing them to produce, go for a mass production. Okay, so all those local people who are attending just like nurse or paramedical, and those people are literally trained by these people, and these people are most wanted among the ophthalmologic medical field. So every year they are recruiting couple of people once they trained, and they are shared to the other kind of people. And more than that, you can see that it is not they are keeping all those secrets with them, and they also wanted to go for sharing all those kind of secrets, sharing whatever the strategy, sharing whatever the facilities, sharing whatever the system that they have got, sharing all the procedures. And I don't know whether you have observed, one person is operating and there are 5 lenses will be there. Remaining 4 lenses are given to the other medical doctors, and they are learning how to do that one. So they are also providing a something like an education institution, and they are training and more number of people, and these people are expected to do a higher volume of surgeries. And one way, one you can see that on an average 200 medical operations done by the we are talking about in India by the ophthalmologists, whereas this particular hospital doctors are doing almost close to 2,000 operations per year, which means that their operational efficiency is almost 1:10. Okay, so that's right. All these things are you are talking about in terms of a performance indicator. But in order to attain that performance, and we need to have certain kind of a what is that ingredients. What are those ingredients? Okay, that is what we are very much interested in order to learn and apply in our own kind of an education institution. Okay, so let me put my own thoughts because I am getting very less response. Okay, so these are the things.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
I just wanted to speak with my views. So I just felt it was a sequential, a systematic approach. They had an objective and a common purpose that they had. So he was trying and approaching to all of them who had the common purpose of sort of, giving it back to the society in the favor of the well-being of the society. And with the help of some of the innovative minds, wherein he was able to work on with the local equipments, and was able to manufacture something which was costing fortune to them, when we talk about the cataract lenses that they've mentioned. Also, the one thing which was there was seeking and sharing the knowledge that they had as a team, and also seeking the knowledge worldwide, wherever they went, wherever they collaborated with. So I think it was a systematic approach towards a common goal that they had, and they were consistent in it, not just in thinking but to turn up things into actions. So approach and vision turned into action, it was overall. Thank you.
Thank you, Pooja, for an excellent insights, and that was what we are going to discuss now. And you put it in a very brief and to the point. Okay, so first thing is that he has got a grand vision, so eradicating the needless blind. That is a major cause, and almost 80% of the blindness because due to the cataract, which is coming middle of the age or later point of the age. So basically, and he is looking out for how to eradicate this cataract, needless blind. That is what you want to go for. And he has got a very good creativity in the sense that, and his marketing strategy or any strategy, and he has got two different kind of a people segment. One segment is paying, and another segment is not paying. And he's trying to get the money from the payable segment and trying to provide service to the other people. And over the period of time, the paying people are more in the sense that they are able to pay more, and because of the surplus, these people are able to even improve and trying to achieve the grand vision. Third one is a goal setting, and they have not gone far because yesterday there was a goal setting section. Jawad sir was talking about smart goals, and here also he has got very specific, measurable, okay, so achievable and whether realistic kind of a target. So now you can see that he has started with only very specific 12 bed. Then he was looking out for more number of the patients and generating the financial resources, and started constructing the building. And once the ground floor is occupied, then he is just occupying. Then whatever the generation of the money, he is looking out for the next one. And this expansion is taking in a multifaceted manner. It is not necessary that it has to be done only for the local people and local kind of thing. Even he just wanted to share this particular knowledge and system to the other parts of the country, even beyond this country, where he is looking out wherever possible. One Malawi case where you can find out that in a year they were able to operate 400 odd cases. But after having an interaction and trying to learn the strategy, procedure, techniques, these people are able to do in a month the same kind of a 400 and odd kind of operations. So the goal setting is that is what he has done, and he set the goals for each and every people, and that's more very realistic. He has got a goal for himself. He has got a goal for other people, team players in this, and the whole family is working on that. Each and everyone is focusing on their own part of it. One is constructing a building, one is developing a system, and one is looking out for administration, one is looking out for how to train the people, one is looking out for paramedical. So each one, they have got their own kind of a goal setting. And most important thing is that there is a strategic leadership. Okay, this is where we are looking out from the angle of a team building. And one point where you can find out his brother Srinivasan, as soon as each and every target is over, they will not discuss about or they will don't do anything like on their own trumpet. They wanted to go for the next level. So that's over, and they got a greater sense of satisfaction. That's their sense of satisfaction, literally motivating them to go for the next level. Okay, so there is a strategic action group. Okay, so this what exactly they are considering the strategy. They set a goals, they set a timeline, and they wanted to complete that one. Once that particular target is over, they wanted to move to the next level. And another thing is that how they build the team of these people. All the people are having a common sense of goal, and they have got a common vision. And most important thing is that everybody is given their own ideas. They come to the consensus. They started working on this, and especially Dr. V is never taking any kind of a credit, and he always push all these kind of credits to the other people. And there are two places where you can easily notice. One thing is that without Srinivasan, you will not be able to achieve this grand vision. The second thing is that Srinivasan is telling that Dr. V always says, and as you say, okay, so or as we say, so that he includes all the people into the particular team. So he always think in terms of a team, not from the top level to bottom level. And at most important thing is that quality, there is no compromise. Whether you are paying or not paying, there is no compromise on quality. And you can see that this is the largest eye hospital available in the whole world. And the kind of operations every day, you just think, oh, sorry. And I'm not very sure, but all the people are having the same kind of a problem. I'm not very sure. Just check. Okay, because there is a chat box that says that because of the poor network, the content is being delivered very late. Okay, I'm not very sure, but I hope the majority of the people are getting it. I'll be sharing my slide without this particular video because I cannot share it through WhatsApp, but I'll give a link of this particular video so that you can have a you can just go through this PPT anyway. Okay, sorry for
Sir,
the
I have
interruption.
shared the video link in WhatsApp group, sir. You can proceed.
Fine. Okay, so next thing is
Sir,
that.
I have already shared the video link in WhatsApp group, sir.
Fine. Thank you, Jagan, for updating this. And there is no compromise in terms of the quality, and they are doing extremely good. And the quality in terms of lens, quality in terms of treatment, quality right from at the entrance till they leave the hospital. Okay, in terms of medical care, even sometimes even trying to go and find where exactly your patients are there. Everywhere quality is always there. They have got very good interaction with even international, and you can see that there was a testimony from the foreign doctor and how exactly he was trained, the kind of medical instruments these people are doing. Even these kind of instruments were not being tested in elsewhere in the other parts of the country. So such a kind of a quality that they have been focusing on this, because once you focus on quality of education, quality of medical, quite natural, then definitely and lot of customers will come into the picture. In our case, it's more of a students and communication across all levels. Okay, so you can see that while the people, paramedical people entering, or the medical doctors entering, or even the community leaders entering, any stakeholders who are entering, all the people are having a simple, common goal, eradicating the needless blind, and this communication is getting across in each and every part of their procedures, techniques, strategy, whatever it is. And more than that, there is not even one step back. They always come back with, because there is some information which is not revealed in this particular. And if you go through the case study, and they started a similar kind of a clinic at Tirunelveli and Theni district, which is that's another part of Tamil Nadu, but that was not doing successful, was not able to generate. And there was a question because there was a lot of data which was shared anyway, which is I'm not going to discuss now. But having said that, these people were still it's very they are able to perform successful, and you could see that you just go through that couple of what is that secondary report, you'll be able to find out. They always focus on doing right things as well as doing things right. Okay, so doing right things and whatever the right kind of a methodology. And for that, you can see that Dr. V is looking out for the super consciousness. And that kind of a level consciousness, he sees everyone as one. Okay, so that is what his way of looking at the things, way of even looking at the how you can achieve a beauty of it. So that is what doing right things and efficiency, the production and volume efficiency of this particular people, largely because of couple of strategies that they followed, couple of internal structure that they have done. So that we are going to discuss a little bit later. I'll tell you, I just reveal one by one where exactly this management or the strategy which comes into the picture, or administration comes into the picture. So far, it is only through my lens I am giving. I have given my observation. Okay, and please stop me whenever if you are not able to understand. If you have got any kind of questions, and we can always have a two-way interaction. Stuff. One person is providing almost all kind of information. This is a one kind of a framework, and through which if you just look, you just take this as a lens. McKinsey 7S framework is a lens, and look at the whole video through this, and you'll have a much more better picture. And there was a research study from McKinsey company done by Thomas Waterman and Peter. Okay, so these people have done, and they have identified that there are 7 years are imperative to have a higher performance in the competitive arena. So that is what we have given a different kind of yes, and you can see the green colors we call it as a hard S, in the pink color it is called as a soft S, and start value in the middle of it. Okay, let me tell you why we have given this kind of ethics, and everything is interconnected. So now you can see the strategy from this particular video and get it from the people who are afford to pay, and provide even for the people who are you are not afford to pay for it, in order to eradicate the needless blind. That is what we call them as a shared value and strategy. And structure, you can see that each and every department, and they have got a clear-cut methodology, because they always look in terms of top to bottom and bottom-up approach, and everybody is are providing a right amount of information across the communication, all because of that is a excellent way in which where they can implement the strategy. Okay, so now we are having a stakeholders even outside the hospitals. There are community leaders are available, international partners are available, and all those people are having a certain way of interacting with these people in a formalized structure. And most important thing is that there are two, from the lens of other foreigner ophthalmologists, you would have said that a system is the one which is the core competency of this particular organization. They built a system, and because of this system, they were able to attain operational efficiency, and they were also able to come with attaining the common goal. So these three are easily controllable and easily manageable, and even we can look at and even you can perceive through your naked eye. Whereas that is why this is called as a hard ESS, we call it as. Okay, whereas a soft SSR, it is totally intangible. Shared value, because somebody has to provide a right kind of a communication. Dr. B was mentored by the blind man, and right from there, and he is also having a spiritual mentorship. So he was able to see everything as a very beautiful manner. Okay, so that was easily communicated to the whole family, and the whole family is communicated to the all the employees. At the end of the day, it is employee-driven organization. It is not where we are talking about something like your methodology. Okay, so all these things are largely because the man or the people or the employee who are working over there. So those people have some kind of a common consensus, and this common goal is literally penetrated into each and everybody's mind. Okay, and you can see that staff, how these people were grown. Okay, so they were brought up from one particular place, given the training, to become a master in that, and they started working on developing other kind of people and working with the other hospitals. The leadership style is, and I don't know whether you have observed. Okay, he just simply walk. Actually, I personally visited. Okay, even from my young age till now, I just go to this hospital for any kind of a medical treatment relevant to eye care. And I have seen Dr. B in my naked eye. Okay, he just walk like this, walk into that. He literally, say for an example, if somebody comes, they don't know how to fill up the forms. He fill up the forms for those people. He regulate all the lines. Okay, it's very simple. And he consulted with the chairman. I don't see such a kind of a very simple person walks into the shoes of each and every person, empathize each and every patient, and trying to understand the problem and what else you need in order to understand and provide develop such a kind of a strategy. That style is literally amazing and is an impeccable leader. Okay, so the skill set and is one of the best. Okay, so you can see that whether paramedical or in developing an instrument or even performing a surgeries, and the skill set of these people are extremely good. Okay, and the people wanted to come to these institutes in order just to learn. Okay, so the people who have got a motivation to even earn more, and they wanted to be the perfect, they wanted to have a perfectionism in doing the surgery. So all these people working with these institutes and trying to learn from this particular person. So this 7S framework, if you see, and this is largely applicable. Okay, why this 7S framework for us? Are we looking into our own leadership style? Do we have a common sense of goal within the department for the institutes? do we have anything like a mission statement for the department? Whether mission statement and vision statement of our department is aligned with our educational institution mission and vision. Are we working from that particular angle? You try to give your own kind of an insights and thoughts. Okay, for every meeting, for every year, are we doing anything like a strategic plan? Down the 5 years, are we going to do any kind of an activity? What exactly our mission are we trying to do? Okay, do we have a head of the department, our dean, our associate dean? What sort of leadership style that they are following it? Do we have a specific skill set which is on par or probably surpassing the other competitive our own educational institutions? Okay, what sort of a strategy that you are following it? Okay, there are private universities, there are private educational institutions, our own scientific technical funded institutions. We people are having a different level of strategies. Okay, so the funding sources, now you know that there is a HIFA is available and we are no longer funded and we need to generate our own kind of a fund. And even we are forced to think more out of the box, not to launch a different kind of a courses which is relevant to the industry, which is also relevant to the students, so that we are trying to produce or probably cultivate right kind of students in order to meet the industry standards. There are many things are happening. Okay, so even out of the box in terms of launching new kind of a program, many things are happening, and we have been doing couple of in our own department, in our own institutes, and what sort of things are happening. Okay, that is what most important. You always just think that whenever you introspect your own department, your own self, and try to understand and implement this 7S framework, where you'll have much more insights on what exactly you are doing. Because at the end of the day, you need to do some kind of an analysis that talks about where you are, where you want to go, or what exactly you are expected to do. That is what we are working on this. That is why I just wanted to include this McKinsey 7S framework in order to understand the leadership style and how you are applying this for your institution building. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, all those kind of things. And why we are placing the shared values that without the shared values, your strategy, your structure, your system, your staff skill, and whatever it may be, and which is not developed because it's the core spot in which we are trying to develop the remaining things. So that is why, and whoever walks into this, whether external stakeholders, community leaders, paramedical, medical practitioners, or even anybody who walks into this, and they'll have this kind of a vision that is right away put on the right spot of anybody's mind. Okay, so let's come back to what exactly institution building, and this is one of the seminal studies that they were talking about in terms of institution building. And if you want to have a better institution or you want to build a better institution, what exactly or what are the requirements or parameters which are most important to go for it? Are you technically capable enough? Now you can see that through this case study, these people are technically capable in terms of operating, in terms of producing an IOL, or in terms of producing even the procedure, or in terms of even producing anything like any kind of an equipment. So everywhere they are literally surpassing the whole industry standards. So they have got a technical capacity. So do we have such a kind of a technical capacity? And we need to evaluate more in terms of skill set. Okay, anyway, tomorrow there is one session on NIRF, and NIRF is largely looking into this kind of a thing because they are evaluating on the different kind of parameters and from different perspectives. One such parameter is that how far we are skilled enough through the publication, couple of other things. Next is normative commitment. How this common goal is internalized into the every people minds. That is what we call as a normative commitment. Are we committed for our own vision and mission of the department? Are we committed for our own kind of institution? Okay, yesterday there was a question which was even posted by audience, and in terms of recruitment. Okay, once they are coming for a recruitment or once they got selected, and for the initial period of time, and they are working hard, and after that, because of this job security, they are not working. But which means that they don't have any common sense because the sense of service to the needy people is most important. For an education, and it's a continuous learning process. We are expected to learn and we are expected to share our knowledge. So that should be there. Okay, so that is what we call as a normative commitment. Then third one is innovative trust. Do we have any kind of a, what is it, ingenuity? Okay, who exactly thought that we are talking about something like $200 IOL? Let us take some kind of an initiative so that we be able to reduce the cost, because that has become an imperative. Because you need to increase your revenue sources in order to, even sometimes for each and every cataract operation you cannot pay $200 for even the people who are not able to pay. So they were forced to go for some kind of an innovative thrust. And that is what, in terms of operations, number of operations, bringing number of people, mass production, even producing the IOL, producing whatever it is. And there was a lot of innovativeness were available. And more than that, somewhere Pooja was talking about, there was an environmental image. So now, when you think of Aravind Eye Hospital, it's very simple that they are working for the cause of eradicating the needless blind. So this is there in almost everybody's mind, not only from teachers and the patients or any stakeholders or anybody who come up with this kind of a case study will have such a kind of an environmental image. So are we in the process of developing such a kind of an image for our own institution? When I think of an NIT, when I think of an IIM, when I think of IITs or any universities, do we have such a kind of a thought process? Okay, are we trying to do such kind of a things that we are expected to do? And spread effect. Okay, so it is not that we are growing, and once ophthalmologist was talking about, normally once you are successful, they always try to safeguard the secret of success. But whereas in this particular Arvind Eye Hospital, Dr. V is of the opinion that it needs to be shared, because then only people be able to go for more growth. So because that's what we call as a spread effect. And even MHRD was of that kind of an opinion long back. They were looking out for some kind of a clustering program. They were looking out for something like a child and parent. They were looking out for networking institutions. There are so many initiatives they have done. Okay, so one thing is that, say for an example, clustering within this particular cluster. Say our institute is available, and we are requested to adopt certain other institutes, mentoring them. Any new recent IIMs came into the picture, and we are having an IIM Trichy, which was literally mentored by IIM Bangalore. Similarly, for other new IIMs. So they were able to spread the effect, because I have been successful in this particular field. Quite natural, my institution, my leadership thoughts has to be literally shared with other people, so that everybody grows on a better angle. So that spread effect should be there. Only if these things are available, then quite natural we'll be able to develop our own kind of a institution. This is a very, very earlier study, and still this is considered to be the one of the essential study. So now I started focusing more in terms of literature. Okay, how they have been talking about this, how is it relevant, and then we will come back to even the practical side of it. Okay, so there is an outstanding educational institution. So this is from one more article, and there is a person who literally turned around, because earlier we had very limited number of IMs are available. Then we had one IM Calicut, and this particular person was heading as a director in IM Calicut. Little turned around and literally challenged the other IEMs in terms of the quality of providing education, attracting more industry people, and providing a better kind of a placement. Even, and it has gone into the picture of even attracting the right kind of a quality students, because there is always a tussle between ABC, we call it as in Ahmedabad, Bangalore, and Calcutta, and over the period, even Calicut is considered to be the one of the best institutes in order to go for it. Okay, so this is from Gizmo Research and his article, and I just wanted to share this with you so that you have, and if you want to become an outstanding education institution, what should be there? One thing is that respond and fulfill the filled market need. Where exactly the market? What exactly the unfelt need is available? So as soon as he has got into this, he was looking out for the online executive MBA program. Okay, so they were the pioneer in long back. I'm talking about something around 15 or 16 years back. They constituted a one particular online classroom, and everybody was sharing to all other kind of people, and they built a system. So that was one of the way in which, because there was a competitive environment, there was a felt need is available. You need to understand, identify what sort of a need, and try to provide this. And everybody, almost all the institutions, will be looking out for the in order to satisfy the particular need. But how we are differentiated with the other people is literally making you to, or making or breaking you to become a successful institution or not. So that's what I identify the market niche, develop a core competency, and could be either in terms of products or educational process. Here in Dr. V. Arvind Hospital, more in terms of a process and not in terms of the products. Because this system was literally able to embraced by the more number of people, and they're also successful. Okay. So how to be a core competent, how to develop a core competency, that itself is a separate, what is it, body of knowledge. I'm not going to discuss in detail. Anyway, you have got one more session on strategic leadership. Okay. So whatever I'm giving is just tip of the iceberg and overview of the whole program. The institution requires financial resources. Now you know that, and they get it to the people who can afford, and with the use of that, they are able to do it. What exactly we are trying to do? We are having a 2-3 programs. Which program is gaining the maximum credibility? Which is the most branded one? And which is providing the more amount of us resources? How the resources can be utilized for other kind of programs and courses? Do we have such a kind of a thought? Are we trying to do work on that? That is most important. And these people have done, okay, so they get a lot of money from the regular courses, and they started working on 2-3 other kind of courses, and over the period of time, that is also bringing the more amount of resources for them. Then they got into NDP and a couple of other things. It's again IMK and Ahmedabad University, both what is it, these two were the samples people have taken, Caldo and other person. So these people have done this particular study. And undoubtedly, the people are most important for any service organization, medical or educational, because it is not building. It's more important thing is that we are talking about the people, how knowledgeable we are, whether constantly are we updating, are we good, our skill sets are extremely good in this competitive environment. Now you know that there are foreign universities, and they are trying to rope in a couple of Nobel laureates into those organizations in order to give a new blood or the new perspectives, so that the remaining people will be able to grow along with them. Okay, so do we have such a kind of a things? Are we taking quality policies in order to even recruit the people? Are these people are literally having such a kind of a common goals perspective or not? So what we are trying to do is that ensure that qualified and competent professionals, if not, try to provide the better kind of a training program. Okay, attract, retain, and develop capabilities. And ultimately, even if you're having, if you don't have the person who is able to actually literally providing the something like a guide or touch light, okay, so who is showing us some kind of a light. So the leaders are most important for us. Okay, so here it is largely Dr. V, and he started his leadership style. Only thing is that over the period of time, the approach changes. Okay, that is what Nambiar used to say that. Okay, so we have taken up, even to the chairman, our approach changes, but we never compromise in terms of our common goal. So we need to have a leaders, because we are having a practice in our department, and couple of other institutes also following this. Once in 2 years or 3 years, we are rotating the couple of people to leaders. But we will have a vision and department goal for the next couple of years, and everybody is working on that. We built a system so that there is no individual who is the dominant in here, and everybody is working for the benefit of the department. So that sort of a leaders are mostly important for us. And the last one is that we need to have internal institutional process. That is most important. We need to build a system and process. That is what we in McKinsey framework, it is called as a procedure. Okay, system and procedures are most important. We need to have a structure, and whom to report what, how to report, and everything should be there. So these are all, yeah, extract from the study where they have found out extremely outstanding educational institution in their field, and found out what exactly the ingredients of that success, and these are the success, which largely revolves around the McKinsey 7S framework, or you talk about even Dr. V ideology, and you need to focus on these kind of parameters. Hope I have conveyed what exactly building institutions. Now I'm moving on to that because a shortage of time. I just wanted to rush it up, and I'm moving on to the last one. Okay, so this is called achievement motivation, and this was proposed by the person called David McLean, and he's an American doctorate from Yale University. Was working with the Boston University, moved to Harvard University. He was largely inspired and mentored by there is a person called Henry Murray. He's basically a psychologist, and he wrote a book on explorations in personality. And based on that, he developed one particular concept called need for achievement. We call this an achievement motivation, because at the end of the day, if you don't have an internal drive, naturally that nobody will try to work on that. Where exactly the drive come across? What sort of a drive is most important? How to cultivate this drive? That is what we are going to focus, because so far what we have done is that how to build an institution, and what are the recipe or the ingredients for building an institution. At the end of the day, only people have to do all these kind of an activities, but the people have to do these kind of an activities. What is pushing them? What is motivating them? What sort of a motivation is right? Because most of the people are having a different kind of a motivation. So he did a research and he proposed the three different kind of a theories concept, and out of the three concept he said based on the research, and in fact he did a research among the Indian business people and even on the family business people, and came up with this kind of a outcome. And there are three concepts. One is need for achievement, need for power, and need for affiliation. Okay, just to give a thought and not to get into detail, let me focus on need for power is to become a and enjoying the official power or any kind of a power. I want to become a director and just enjoy the power, nothing less. Okay, because the power gives some kind of a motivation. I want to reach that particular position. Next one is that people always wanted to get some amount of a comfort levels. They are probably segregated or being alone. Naturally, they are not comfortable. So, how to get some kind of an affiliation with others? So that's why the people wanted to move with other kind of a people. That's called need for affiliation. But at the end of the day, it is most important thing is that need for achievement. What exactly need for achievement? Okay, so individual desire for significant accomplishment, mastering of skills, control or high standards. Basically, it is an individual. An individual is always constantly trying to achieve something, raising his own bar in terms of skills and trying to achieve high standards. That is what you always looking out for this. Okay, so it's more in terms of continuously striving for a right kind of a standards in order to improve his skill set, and that is largely based on the satisfaction he got out of each and every achievement. So he is looking out for the one particular standard. I achieved the standard. I got a satisfaction. That satisfaction is literally motivating me to go for the next level. Okay. So sources of high need for achievement. Okay. So I'll take another 5 minutes in order to complete this, and we can have a small discussion if you are looking out for it. So this is for the sources of need for achievement, and ensure that the parents who encourage independence in the childhood. Most of the times we are not encouraging independence, whereas providing this kind of an opportunities are literally able to come up in the later success. Price and reward for the success and little punishment. It's more of a price and rewards. Okay, only constructive criticism. Whenever you achieve something, always have a positive feelings, and own competency effort and not based on the luck. If I'm able to achieve something, it is largely based on my competency, not based on the luck. Even if you look at Dr. V case, you'll be able to find out. Because even after rheumatoid arthritis, and he was having a knack of doing the surgery, he has improved his competency over the period of time. So everybody has to be challenged. Okay, so you should have even the challenging goal. If you're in a comfort level, you're not going to grow anywhere. So try to have a challenging goal. And more in terms of intrapersonal, not interpersonal, more in terms of intrapersonal strength. Which means that just like Dr. E was looking out for the spiritual consciousness, you need to have more intrapersonal. You need to believe yourself. And there should be a desirability, feasibility, as well as supporting and goal setting abilities. These are the fundamentals where you need to go for a need for achievement. But I'll put everything in a very simple format. Okay. So what you are expected to do, you need to develop a high need for achievement in you. What you are expected to do, you try to set a smart goal, achieve, try to get a positive experience. Then set a next level of goal. That is what most important. Then gradually increase the task difficulty. Now you can see that first 11 bed, first floor, second floor, third floor, from one place to another place, from one country to another kind of a country. That is what they are talking about. They don't want to straight away hit on a major task. They like try to go for achievable task. Always try to have a positive feedback. Don't ever provide any negative feedback. Constructive feedbacks are better, but never give any kind of a punishment or any kind of a feedback whenever you want to build an institution, whenever you want to build a team, and whenever you want to have. Even if you wanted to have your own introspection, ensure that you need to have your own kind of a positive feedback and don't ever punish yourself or punish your own subordinates. And the last and the most important thing is that because there is a continuum that's called low risk and high risk, never try to look for any high risk. Always try to have a calculated moderate risk rating. This is what ultimately important where you need to go for. So I started with something like institution building, given the case study and how these 7S frameworks are important. What exactly the ingredients, secret ingredients for the institution building, and if you want to achieve what you should have, that is what this particular slide talks about. So this is my last slide. So even if you go through the video, you'll be able to find out intelligence and capability are not enough. There must be a joy of doing something beautiful. At the end of the day, if you're not having anything like joy of doing, then quite natural, you're not going to enjoy anything, and quite natural, you're not going to grow yourself. So do whatever thing, and at the end of the day, you should have some kind of a joy of doing something beautiful. And in this case, and eradicating needless blind, in our case, try to ensure that our institutions will be topping in the NIRF ranking. Thank you very much, and I just stop. If you have got any kind of a discussion or anything, we can have a discussion, and all just leave the floor to the participants. Anybody wants to ask anything on this? How you can build an institution through achievement motivation?
Good evening, sir. There is a question in the chat box from Dr. Ashu Mittal. It is Dr. V had a vision. He knew how to deliver perfection on the top empathy. Sorry, it is a comment from the audience.
I'm looking out for Korea's questions. Anything on this?
Sir, I have one question that see the path which Dr. V has chosen. Sometimes it is possible that negative aspect or the motivation level at the point of affiliation, what you expect you don't get in return. So for a successful institution brand building, how much you feel that affiliation parameter or affiliation concepts plays a vital role? Because maybe I'll say that Dr. V has got that collaboration during his hunting for the local people and train them and use them. But this cannot be the case in every leadership process. So how you can say that the motivation level may not get affected due to the lack of affiliation from the local people or local areas.
I just want to clarify one thing. On all these three, need for affiliation, need for power, and need for achievement, it is talking about the drivers or the motivation that is contributing to the leadership style. It's nothing to do with having an affiliation with the foreign partners or the collaborators. We'll give a small example, and you are heading the department, and you have got a couple of subordinates are available. So you are practicing a three different one. Okay, one need for power, you have become, and you want to be very dominant, and probably just because you are in an officially designated head of the department over the period of time, you are losing here some kind of a team because they know pretty well once you're out, then nothing will happen. Need for affiliation in the sense that you want to have a very positive feedback from and your subordinates, and for that you're also compromising certain things, and that compromise because you wanted to have a very positive feeling from your subordinates, but you're not focusing on what is right effectiveness and what doing things right and doing right things. Okay, that is most important. That is why we are having a something like some kind of a negative, and this may not be possible. So what we are trying to do is that you try to set some kind of a standard, try to achieve as a team, and over the period of time, this sense of satisfaction is literally motivating, not power or not money or not affiliation, which is making you to go for it. So, and I think I have missed 2 points when you're talking about even in our institution, and we have got like a first woman leader, okay, director, and you could see that for the last 4 years, and we were in 11th, now we are in 9th. Okay, so we have been increasing our ranking like anything, and we don't have any issues at all. We have got all our promotions, everybody's, and multifold in terms of performance, whether in terms of getting projects or publications or even looking out for the foreign collaborations, many things which are happening. And she has got something like a strategic action force. Every year, once in 6 months, she sits with each and every department, trying to find out this is what your objective, and trying to discuss all those kind of things. Okay, so that is the kind of a leadership that she never yields any kind of pampering or blown kind of a trumpet supporting on the back, nothing. You'll come with what exactly to be done because overall vision is there, and they set a goals for the next 3 or 4 years. Every year they'll be scrutinizing where exactly we are, what exactly we are trying to do, how exactly our competitors are going, how to outgrow our competitors, everything, and we are focusing only on the targets, nothing to do with. And it's also giving a positive feedback. One feedback is that our institute day, each and every department, and they'll try to find out which is the best department in science stream, humanities stream, as well as for the engineering stream. Then we are also given the cash prizes like 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs for each and every department for the growth of the faculty that can be used for our own kind of a growth. Then, and apart from that, for achievement in terms of publication, achievement in terms of project, achievement in terms of even in teaching, okay, each and everything she is recognizing, providing a positive feedback if something goes wrong, which is being discussed in our Senate meeting. So all these things are happening where we are having a very freedom to even air our opinion. That's what we are looking out for it. In affiliation, we can add, but we may not be right, and you are expected to accept that kind of a feedback. That is not there. So we always look for the common goal and we work on the common goal. Hope I have answered your question. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Any other questions or anything that you wanted to ask, you can ask. Okay.
So there is a question from Dr. Renu Yadav. How achievement motivation help in achieving higher learning outcomes?
Definitely, because we set our own kind of a goals, and what I do is that every year, and myself with Megla ma'am, we used to participate because we have got different kind of goals, and we are largely being facilitated with our own kind of a team. Now you can say that today I have not come into this whole picture, and right from the beginning, our own research scholar who was taking care of the whole coordination of it. Now the whole 5 days program is being taken care of by our research scholars. And the Megalama research scholar Harishri and the other two research scholars, okay, Subhashri and as well as Deepak Ramanan. So the achievement motivation is that we have got our own kind of sense of satisfaction. We are not going to get anything out of this in terms of money. but we are having the happiness and sense of satisfaction in terms of sharing our knowledge, in terms of taking our NAT brand to the nook and corner of the country. And further, we are exploring in terms of research projects, even in terms of publication and the cross-discipline publication, everything we are trying to do. Once we achieve, then that itself is motivation. Okay, so normally we used to conduct something around 6 or 7 and the self-financed FDPs. Okay, so very recently we got into this sponsoring like ACT, ICSSR. But normally what we do is that 76, one couple of programs on teaching methodology, couple of programs on research and training, couple of programs on competency. Now we are also focusing on online kind of a training program. And apart from all these things, so every year we raise the bars. This in terms of getting a satisfaction, in terms of achieving the performance, publication, project, everywhere we are trying to grow. And now we have got a better kind of a networking with the foreign kind of a people. So achievement motivation comes largely from this. Okay, so nobody is forcing us to do, but we have got our own innate feeling that drive literally towards this particular task. So always focus on set your smart goal. Okay, so specific, measurable, achievable, and a realistic kind of a goal. Try to achieve it. Once you achieve, then really you have a greater sense of satisfaction. That sense of satisfaction literally wants you to go for the next set of smart goals. Even in the case of a GV, you are doing the same kind of a thing. Renu Yadav, I think have come to answer to your questions, and if you have got any further, you can let me know.
So one last question.
Yeah.
From Sashi Kiran. Can achievement motivation be sustained over long run?
Exactly, I have been experiencing. Okay, very obvious, and even the research it talks about. Just go through, type it on achievement motivation. The recent studies talks about comparison between achievement motivation and the need for power. And even now, you can see that across different industries, different kind of people, because the whole David McLean theory talks about personality and consciousness, and it talks about overall personality, still achievement motivation. And recent past, couple of organizations like MHRD, AACP, and even other teacher training institutes are having a separate training program called as Achievement Motivation for Teachers alone. Okay, so it has become a huge impact. Okay, unless you go through the process of achievement motivation, and you won't be really able to appreciate it. At least have a taste of one achievement motivation, then you will have a great impact. Okay, you will see, you will see. So that's all.
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
any
Thank you so much, sir.
assignment is uploaded on
Okay.
Atil?
No. Actually, we don't give any kind of an assignment at the end of the what is it last day, and it will be given. We are exploring. We are not very sure. Still, we are yet to get the feedback from Atal.
Yes.
And if
Somebody has somebody put it on a chat that they are trying to download it. So I thought that anything is loaded on Atal portal or what.
No, actually, see, the thing is that we will provide a multiple choice question covering all the topics, whatever around 15 sessions, and we are collecting a multiple choice questions. In our case, it talks about institution building, making 7 framework, and achieving motivation. My questions are revolves around here, and I have already given 5 or 6 questions, and these questions will be there. Only thing is that you are expected to provide, we are using Google Forms in order to get to your school and to get uploaded. As of now, this is the idea. But let me come back with the exact information after getting the clarification from Martin.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any other thoughts, anything that you wanted to say? And one last question to an open question to all the people. And I am always looking out for the feedback in terms of how to fine tune my teaching skill. I'd be happy because most of the people are teachers, and please let me know. And my way of teaching is up to the mark, probably. You just give me some kind of a tips in order to improve. With that, I will conclude. Okay, so anybody, if you want to give, you can give.
No, sir, it was excellent session. It was excellent.
Very nice session, sir.
Thank you very much for your patiently hearing. Okay, so thank you very much. I'll be sharing the slides, and the link is only given because I cannot upload the whole PPT along with the video. So I think it's already the link is shared, and I'll also share the PPT. We are also sharing other PPTs. If you have got any difficulties, please come through WhatsApp so that we'll be able to facilitate you and help you a lot. Thank you very much. Have a safe day. And with your permission, I'm leaving the session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Jagan? Jagan இருக்கியா?